know we talk about the first two decisions you have to make when you play the game. Number one, what angle am I going to play? What ball am I going to use? You might choose to play with a ball that goes a little straighter that Ron has in front of him and move out a little bit. Or you may choose to move in with the medium bowling balls or balls that hook more, move even deeper on the lane. Those are your decisions. What angle do I want to play? What ball do I want to use? You know, we're controlling two things. We're controlling distance and hook power. And the ball skids down the lane. What causes that? What are the main things that cause that? And then the hook on the back end. And we want to talk about the cores. You look at these cores. I've got 8 of them here in front of me, from very light cores, small, shorter, squattier cores, to big mammoth cores. And this one's heavy compared to that one over there. Okay, so we call the core. Then we're going to talk about the pin position, and we can talk about the balance hole. We like to break it down into 3 parts: oil, medium, dry. Oil, medium, dry. And we're going to talk to you about our line, the Legends Lane Master line, and which balls are good for oily lanes, which are good for medium lane, which are good for dry lanes. Right now, Ron, if you would, talk to us about the bowling balls for dry lanes and what you have sitting in front of you.
Sure, Coach. Well, first of all, I have our plastic arrow ball, which, as we discussed earlier with spares, we want to have that relaxed release and have the proper body angle to shoot those spares with a real good plastic ball that's not going to do any movement on the lane. Wherever you lay it down is where it's going to go. And that will be achieved not only through the cover stock and how the ball is made, but through your release and how you achieve that relaxed release with no rotation. Then next to that, I have a great ball for dry lanes. This is our high durometer reactive Hornet. We were able to make this ball work great for dry lanes, but still retain the friction in the cover stock to give you some back end movement. Has a very light core. We also have some management here with the pin position. This pin is higher, so it's going to go down the lane longer, and then it's also positioned closer to the track. So it stands that weight block up in more of a vertical rotation so that the ball is going to lope down the lane with very little movement on the back end. You can also move right, relax the hand, throw with a little more speed. Those combinations of your physical game along with this ball are going to allow you to play some great dry lane conditions that other people might not be able to play. So that's the dry lane balls and the spare balls. Jeri, what do you have for our medium conditions?
Well, these 2 medium bowling balls here are both reactive. For me personally, I like the reactive bowling balls in most cases. I don't throw it real hard, and so for me, this bowling ball stores energy and has the right kind of power at the pocket in most cases. Now, there'll be times that I use particles when the lanes are a little bit oily, that I need the ball to get into a roll a little sooner. But you'll see here too, these 2 bowling balls have slightly different layouts. The pins are similar in position from side to side. Both of these pin positions put the weight block at a little bit of an angle this way. And as the ball trues up, or as that weight block trues up, it creates a little bit more flip in the back end of the lane. But you will notice this one's a little higher and this one's a little lower. When you move the pin a little higher above the fingers, this tends to make the ball go farther before it actually hooks. A lot of my layouts look this way. And then this one, you'll see the pin is below the fingers. This will make the ball want to roll up a little earlier. And you can see how shiny these are. If I were in a center and this one went too far and I grabbed this ball thinking that it would roll a little earlier and it still didn't roll early enough and I was in my practice session, I might pull out the Scotch-Brite pad. And if I take and I rough this surface up, this makes this bowling ball want to grab the lane earlier and hook more. So for medium conditions, these 2 bowling balls in this type of layout tend to be very, very effective.
Boy, there you have some dry lane balls, some medium lanes. We have some layouts here for oily lanes. This ball here, our Black Pearl, it's a great ball. It's what we call the traction reactive. It's really has a lot of traction, and it's a great layout. And you can see where the pin is here. It's not up, it's not down. It's over here to the right, and what we've done is we've put that into almost a 45 degree, which creates maximum flare or maximum flip. Your pro shop operator knows all these layouts, these cover stock materials, and as Jeri alluded to, I would use this. You can see it's a little shiny. Even though it's a layout for a strong bowling ball and a strong hook, I may use the maroon pad. They come in every one of our boxes in our high performance balls, and I can just start this thing, but make sure you do it before you start the competition. If you don't, you're disqualified. But I can knock this just polish right off of this ball. Look what I just did to that bowling ball. Boy, you can see I just added a lot of traction to that bowling ball by using this real rough pad. The one that Jeri had is a pad a little bit less of an abrasive, so it don't give you quite the traction. So we talk about the two things. We talk about distance, that's the cover stock of the ball, that's loft and speed. Those are the three majors. And then we have the core, the big heavy core. If it's the big heavy core, it rolls earlier. If it's a smaller lighter core, it pushes longer down the lane. We call it the RG. You talk to your pro shop operator. What's the RG? Low RG, heavy weight block. High RG, lighter weight block. A little taller weight block has a little higher RG. Then we have cover stock material. It's either reactive or particle. If it's got a particle, it's going to grab more. And then we have the pin position. Then, Coach, you know, we talk about a couple of other things. And this ball, particular ball here, this is not a ball that's designed to really hook, but it's, look where we have the pin. We have it laid down. I know, Ron, this is your own personal bowling ball. You use this when the lanes are a little tricky for sport bowling.
Absolutely.
You know, now he's got to polish a little bit for dry sport bowling conditions.
Yes.
Now, we could take this ball and put this pin down over here because this is a big rolling ball. And we could put the pin over here. We call it a 2-inch pin, and then we could scar it up for sport bowling on the oil. Sport bowling dry. And then on sport bowling, you don't twirl and twist on it, you roll it. So now we roll it. And as we learn to use the bowling balls, now we talk about the balance holes and we talk about the CG. Here's the CG mark, center of gravity. Leave most of that in the balance hole up to your pro shop operator who's a professional. You know, the fine-tune your ball reaction according to your axis tilt and rotation. When we call this stacked, where the CG is right under the pin, that's stacked. We put that CG over here, that would make it hook and stop. It's a fine-tuning mechanism. When we put it over here, it makes it roll a little straighter on the back ends. So let's just bring it together. We have the core, the inside of the bowling ball, real heavy to lighter, bigger to smaller. That makes the ball react different. We spent a lot of time and effort at Lane Masters Legends on that topic. Then we have the cover stock material. It's reactive or particle. Then we have the pin position up and down, which Coach Jeri, you alluded to. That's distance control. Ron, this way here, that's hook factor.
Right.
So we have the distance, we have the hook. Distance, we want you to loft it. We want you to throw it fast. We want you to throw a light cover or core with a polished cover stock. That'll make it go straight. On oil, slow it down, lay it down, use a heavy weight block, and lay that pin down and get it to roll, and then we have bowling balls in between. Now we're going to tell you about all of our line. We're going to tell you about our bowling balls that are good for oil, medium lanes, and dry lanes. I hope you see there's a lot going on here with making these adjustments. When you go to the lanes, Coach, what's your process now? Let's do it one more time between our coaching staff here. Let's walk it through. You walk into the bowling center. What do you do playing the lanes? What do you do? What's your process?
Okay, first I get on the lane, throw a ball down the lane. I am reading that lane, watching what my bowling ball is doing. And then from there, I'll make some adjustments. My first one will probably be to what part of the lane am I going to play?
And then after that's determined, then you're going to have to determine what body angle you're going to have to be able to play that part of the lane effectively. And then after you've thrown your benchmark ball or your medium ball to get the distance and be able to read the lane, determine, do I need to throw it slower, faster, more loft, less loft, and what kind of rotation do I need for that lane condition in that part of the lane?
Very good, Coach. You said you started your benchmark ball. That would be your medium ball, one of these two. And as the lanes broke down and got a little drier, then you would migrate on down to this. I already know that before I start. I'm ready. I have a plan. Any plan is better than no plan at all. If I play on oily lanes and I have oil bowling balls, I have medium, I have dry. I have an arsenal. They can't stop me when they put different oil in different parts of the lane. When you use all the adjustments and use equipment, especially if you're using Legends, you can do it at the high level because you got the best equipment, you got the knowledge to play the game.